Hello and welcome. So in this video I am going to teach some basics of astrology for beginners. After listening to this video, you will have a solid idea on how to make a birth chart and how to read it. I'm a Vedic astrologer. I've been practicing Vedic astrology for 15 years. So today I'm going to teach the basics of astrology with some pictures and some animations which makes understanding very easy. So what is astrology? It's a systematic approach of studying the position of planets and stars and predicting the future. So what are the uses of astrology? The primary use of astrology is to study a man's chart and know his past, present and the future. Using astrology, we can see if a man can have a good lifestyle, a loving family, understandable spouse, a beautiful home, kids, car. We can see a lot of factors. To have all these values in this life, a man should have money, of course. So using astrology, we can study a man's chart and see how much money he can earn and how much money he can save. To earn this money, a man needs a job, of course. So using astrology, we can study a man's chart and see what kind of job will suit him and what kind of job he is going to get. So let's talk about the birth chart. Birth chart is nothing but a snapshot of the planetary positions taken during your time of birth. To make a birth chart, we need the following data: your time of birth, your date of birth, and the place of birth. I know everybody should be knowing their date of birth and the place of birth. Somebody may not know the time of birth, but still you should be knowing whether you were born in the morning, early morning, or in noon, or evening, or night. So if you know that piece of information, we can make some corrections and we can just calculate your time of birth. So these are the three main components of a birth chart. So the first one is the ascendant, and then the signs and houses, and the planets. So these three components form the structure of a birth chart. Of course, there are a lot of factors, but these are the basic primary elements. Today we will see these three main components. This chart is a skeleton structure of a Western style circular chart. The left hand side points the eastern horizon. The other directions should be read in the counterclockwise directions. We will see the ascendant. The ascendant is the degree that is rising on the eastern horizon during the specific time. It is an important factor in the astrology. Every other calculations in the birth chart are taken from the ascendant degree. Following the ascendant, the most deepest point in the southernmost direction is called nadir. The degree exactly opposite to the ascendant is the descendant, and finally the sky exactly above the birthplace is considered as zenith. The rising sign in which the ascendant falls can be called as ascendant sign. The following signs would fall in counterclockwise directions. In these examples, we have taken Leo as ascendant sign, so Virgo, Libra, Scorpio would follow it. Here the sign of Scorpio is in nadir and Aquarius falls in descendant. The Taurus comes in zenith, which is directly above overhead. The planets in zenith has a powerful influence in one life. There are 12 houses in astrology. As you know, the circle is 360 degree. It is divided into 12 equal houses and 30 degree for each house. This system is called the equal house system. In this example, the first house, which is the ascendant, falls in Leo. So the second house falls in Virgo. The third house falls in Libra. And we can count in counterclockwise direction all the way to Cancer. Here you can notice that the four houses 1, 4, 7 and 10 fall in four directions exactly. These four houses has a very critical significance which we will see in further videos. Now let's talk about the Vedic chart. This one is a South Indian Vedic chart. You can draw this chart with squares like this with equal area. In this Vedic chart style, the signs are always marked in the same positions. For example, the four corners are always Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. In our example, on the Western style chart, the ascendant was Leo and it was placed on the left hand side. But here, as the chart is fixed, we mark the Leo sign as ascendant with the slash, and we can simply write as ascendant. If the ascendant falls in some other sign, for example like Libra or Pisces, we just put a slash on it and mark it in the same way. Now we will see how the houses are placed. Once you mark the ascendant, you will have to count the houses in clockwise direction. Remember, in the Western style chart, the counting was counterclockwise. So here the second house is Virgo, the third house is Libra, and we can count till the last sign Cancer, which would be the 12th house. Now we will talk about the significance of these houses. Each house represents a lot of factors in a person's life. For easy understanding, we will see one primary factor indicated by each house. If you memorize these factors, it will be easy to study further about these houses in future. Houses as good, the bad, and the neutral houses. So the good houses are the 1, 4, 7, and 10. These are called the angular houses. We have seen that the four houses in the four directions, east, south, west, and north, forms this 1, 4, 7, and 10th houses. These are called the angular houses, and these are very important in a birth chart. The second one is the 5th and the 9th house. So along with the first house, 5th house, and 9th house are called the trine houses. These are kind of the lucky houses in a birth chart. Next we will see the bad houses. These are the 6th, 3rd, 11th, and 12th houses. And the neutral houses are 2nd and the 8th houses. So far we've been discussing about the houses. Now we will talk about the planets. In Vedic astrology, we consider 9 planets. The actual word used in Vedic astrology is graha, which has a different definition. For our study purpose, we will use the word planets. Similar to houses, the planets can be classified into good and bad ones. We will call them as benefic and malefic planets. The benefic planets are Jupiter, Venus, well-associated Mercury, and the waxing moon. The malefic planets are Saturn, Mars, Sun, and the two nodes, which is Rahu and Ketu. We just call them as North Node and South Node. The other planets, the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are not considered in Vedic astrology as they are too far and too small in size when compared to the mighty Jupiter and Saturn. So they are not going to make any significant impact in the human lives. So these are not considered here. Some people make statements like, when Vedic astrology was written, there was no telescope, so these planets were ignored. Those statements doesn't make any value, as Vedic astrology was written by the sages who are kind of superhumans. They see everything. So they figured out that these planets doesn't have a real impact. If you see this picture, you can see the difference between the Jupiter, Saturn, and these outer planets. The Pluto is just looks like a tiny dot when compared to Jupiter and Saturn, and it's too far away from the Earth. So they are not going to make any impact. So we have seen some introduction about the houses and the planets. The next video we will talk more about these houses and planets and how they are used in casting a birth chart. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will talk more about astrology in the coming videos. Thank you.